What we want to build is, when we say AI native risk management, AI native AML compliance, what we mean is we want to upskill humans to an oversight function for machines. Right now, humans do stuff alongside machines, right? Like maybe there's machine learning detection, but a human investigates, and they still spend 30 minutes per alert. And if you are a bank, maybe you have millions of them per month or per year, depending on your size. And when we say AI native, we want most of these operations to be done by AI, and humans provide oversight with full audit trail, with full complex human decisioning. And that's essentially how we try to turn the problem on its head. And that's where LLMs are, very powerful in terms of helping with that end vision. Coming back to AI forensics, it's essentially a set of AI agents that are tailor-made to handle very specific things. For example, in AML screening, we have an AI agent, AI forensics for screening, and it does only false positive suppression for screening alerts. And then for L2, complex monitoring alerts, obviously these might require very complex, investigations, building pivot tables, etc. takes you 15 minutes each. Versus with us, it takes a second. You just speak to the system, it gives you the data. And as human, you can just digest that insight and information and reach to a conclusion. So it's almost as if we are not eliminating humans, and we give our customers cars, so now they don't have to walk or ride horse carts.
When it comes to how we are using AI at B2B Payments, taking a fairly broad approach when it comes to being open to new ideas and some new possibilities that some of the tooling presents. It's worth noting that this is the field is moving exceptionally fast. So week to week or month to month, there's a lot of innovation in the space. We have taken the approach to embrace some of the tooling, and we're experimenting with AI coding tools such as Copilot and VS Code and Cursor. We've been experimenting with prototyping with tools like Lovable and others. And what we've been doing is I think it's probably important to note that we've been trying to understand where there's a value add there. And so that comes hand in hand with some experimentation, but we've been deliberate in not trying to shoehorn in AI, LLM tools for the sake of it, but trying to understand if there's some value add there, and then working to experiment. When it comes to what we've been thinking about in the compliance space, so Flagright have a very forward-looking approach to integrating AI into their platform. So that can be from advanced pattern matching techniques in their platform. That can also be AI forensics for looking at post-hoc analysis on transactions and fraud and so forth, and then also reporting as well. So whether it's suspicious activity reports or other memos that we need to produce, Flagright have been really leaning into that, and we've been experimenting with that as well. When it comes to what B4B's been doing, like I mentioned, there's playing around with some of the tools. What we've also been doing is thinking about getting back to the actual compliance tools themselves, where we can use that and again potentially work with Flagright on this to actually enhance pattern matching. So what's interesting is that some of the large language models, or LLMs, the context windows in terms of the amount of information you can put into them to get a response has been increasing. And so we see opportunities to potentially leverage that to give us more context and more understanding on what's happening with fraud and potential fraud. So that could be real time, it could be post hoc, it could be regression testing or back testing as well. The other thing we're thinking about is also horizon scanning as well. So where we can also use LLMs as part of our approach to regulatory roadmaps and understanding what we need to do in future and where we might need to adapt our policy and approach. And the other potential opportunities could be potentially and horizon scanning for our code bases as well. So we have been thinking about where we could integrate AI to actually scan the code and understand if there's gaps or there's areas where we need to take action to be compliant in future. When it comes to integrating AI and LLMs into how we are working at B4B Payments, we see a lot of opportunities with due diligence. And one of the things we've been thinking about is how we actually allow us to scale with some of the existing processes we have as a regulated entity. And one of the big opportunities is actually increasing automation and reducing manual touch points with the due diligence process. And we see potential to allow us to move into more of a perpetual due diligence model, which is more AI powered. And this can be using AI workflow tools to increase the leverage of the personnel that we have working in our compliance areas. It can also allow us to integrate AI into the workflow, and this can be whether it's OCR for documentation, whether it can be pattern matching, understanding whether there are particular data points that we need to pay more attention to, and also the ability to provide more context on what we think may be happening in certain cases. So due diligence is definitely a big focus area for us right now. One area where we see a huge potential for integrating AI and LLMs into our compliance area is actually for explainability. So we have been doing some work to integrate machine learning and LLM models into the way that we are doing pattern matching and understanding false positives, and where we're doing regression testing and so forth. And as these models get more complex and we get more data, and then the number of data points expands, then the way that the decisions are being made can potentially become more opaque. And we see an opportunity for AI and LLMs to improve the explainability of the decision-making process. So this could be how using reasoning models to explain step-by-step how decisions were made, using other capabilities to provide a clearer picture of relationships between entities, relationships between various patterns and so forth. So when it comes to due diligence as an example in regards to how decisions are made, we do have some level of automation where we have our compliance team members that are actually involved in reaching out to clients or actually analysing data, analysing documentation and so forth. And that can be to understand if there's been changes in the underlying business. It could be ownership, it could be turnover, it could be the types of payments, the types of merchants, the type of businesses that payments are moving between. And so these are where we have the expertise of our compliance teams providing the ability to actually detect where there may be areas that need more attention. And what we see is AI and LLMs providing the ability to leverage that expertise. So we will always have a human in the loop with this, but it actually allows us to increase not only the visibility that we have on the business activity from our compliance team, but the scale at which we can actually provide compliance oversight.